Wonder and amazement is our goal. As you've answered my ad, you know I need performers really bad to draw more curious minds to my show. But between you and I, if you need a little time to employ some helpful props, be my guest. See, here at Thunder's Freak Show, we don't mind a little white lie. So don your costumes, grab your tools, perform for us, perform for us. Godspeed. No, wait, what are you waiting for? Perform for us! Let's go! Get on stage! Grab a rubber nose, a rubber chicken, anything! I'm not kidding around. What do you think we're paying you for? Let's go! Everybody's got an act. Everybody's got a play. See, here at Zunder's Freak Show, I always get my way! Remember, I'm watching. Let's go. Perform. Godspeed. Tone Zunder is always watching, and I'm Tone. Welcome to Puzzle Talk, the greatest escape room show here on YouTube and the internet and anywhere else, because I'm the greatest. And here with me, the other greatest, Christina. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thanks.
You can see that our offices are still in absolute shambles just by taking a look at the background of Christina's shot. And I'm kind of in like the clean zone, I guess we could call it,
Yeah.
in comparison. But what are you going to do, right? We're slowly making progress here. The building's definitely a lot better downstairs where the customers see. So... Christina, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Nothing too exciting. Ended up going to a small comic convention, so that was pretty neat.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff did they have?
Comics. It was a lot of comic stuff. So like, there's a whole room with just comic books and collectibles and all of that sort of stuff.
Anyone notable there?
Yes.
Like who?
I don't know. They had speakers. I wasn't really there for the panels. There was someone, or there was a famous illustrator from comic books. I don't remember which one it was though.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
I am not really a huge comic convention person. What kind of stuff do you read?
I don't actually read. I was just there vending as an artist.
Ah, that's right. You told us this.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to put some of Christina's artwork on Puzzle Talk and let the world see it.
Oh boy.
You're not confident in your art?
I'm very confident in my art, I
so
guess.
then what's the problem?
Nothing.
So, what are we here to talk about today? Well, we've got quite a bit of things to talk about today. But we've got two main things we're talking about today. But the first thing is a result of a situation that happened over the weekend. Christina was off, so she was not here for this. And Mike is at a corporate event with Novartis today, so he's not here to talk about it. But he wasn't here over the weekend either. It was myself, it was Chris, and who the hell else was here with us? Oh, and Izzy. And we had a little bit of a fire safety problem over the weekend. So it brings us to our first topic, fire safety equipment. Here on the screen, we have what we call a pull station. Very clearly says pull in case of fire. So in the event of a fire in the building, if someone pulls that station, all of the alarms will go off and protocol for a fire in the building will take place. So for example, for us, we evacuate everybody out of the building, get everyone into the street, and, sidewalk. We don't want people hit by cars. And fire department comes in, they tour the building, take care of any situation, they leave, they give you the go-ahead to go about the rest of your evening. Well, Saturday night, we had a group in Freak Show, which, by the way, has been doing amazingly well, in case you were wondering. Freak Show is about to break our opening month record, and we're only basically about, almost 3/4 through the month.
Nice.
So yeah, Freak Show is doing amazing. And I actually think that including Christmas months, this August will, as a result, be our highest grossing sales month in the history of the company. So really good stuff, and it's not just Freak Show that's helping us get there. Curzy in the Poconos is doing very well. We have a decent amount of off-site events this month for our team building events. So business is good. We're happy. But Saturday we had a sold-out Freak Show game. It was our second to last game of the night. We also had a full group inside Witch Hunt in our Morristown location. And when somebody got into the fairground section of Freak Show, one of the women in the group decided to pull the fire alarm. She claims that she thought that it was part of the game. I believe because it was painted red.
Obviously.
Clever.
Yeah.
And obviously gets us claviously. So, she didn't just give it a tug and pull the alarm. She actually broke the fixture, and the wires disconnected from behind the wall. So the fire alarm goes off. Now, what a lot of people don't know about our Morristown location, the fire alarm system controls both us as well as our next door neighbors, Horseshoe Tavern and the Raven Room, because once upon a time we were all one giant building and the landlord subdivided. He never subdivided the fire alarm. So that meant that we had 16 people from Freak Show, another 6 people from Witch Hunt, and all of Horseshoe Tavern in the street outside on a Saturday night. Izzy actually went out there with brochures and was handing them out to all the passerbyers and the people at the tavern. So we went through like an entire stack of brochures. That was nice. But lo and behold, couldn't reset the panel to shut the alarm off because of the wires being severed behind the wall. It took almost an hour before we were able to get everyone back in the building. That was a little bit of a disaster. The person who pulled the fire station claimed that it should have been better labeled and covered. One of the members of the fire department graciously pointed out that covering it kind of negates the purpose of it, because then how do you pull it in the event of a fire? So, we thought we would have a little conversation about fire devices in your building. Anyone watching, please comment, join in on the conversation. Have you ever had somebody do something incredibly stupid with your fire safety equipment? Like randomly pull it because they think it's a puzzle lever. Or the story we've shared a million times before, including on episodes of Puzzle Talk, shooting a fire extinguisher off in the building. Because these all could have very bad effects if they're not being used for a fire. So, fire safety equipment always needs to be completely unobstructed. You cannot have things in the way of your fire safety equipment. If someone has to go through hoops to get to an extinguisher or to get to a pull station or whatever, then that, as the guy from the fire department said, that's completely defeating the point of the fire safety equipment. Your people need to be able to, your players, your staff, they need to be able to access this with no obstruction, just literally know where it is and go. Having said that, one of the things that has been brought up to us too is like, well, could you talk about it in your safety and rules videos at the beginning and things like that? Here's kind of the problem. It's one thing to say that we have fire safety equipment and, emergency exits in the game. It's another to say, do not pull that. Because even if you're saying do not pull that unless in the event of a fire, you're still, it's almost like their brain can do like the old, like press rumor editing where, somebody's like, I don't like when people say that I hate this, and then all of a sudden it's edited into like, I hate this. People's brains might do their own edit, where if you say, do not pull a fire station unless there is a fire, they hear that as do not pull the fire station. So, you got to be very careful with that. You can't have any wording that in any way, shape, or form can be misconstrued if they didn't hear one beat of audio. So you got to be very, very careful with this, and it ends up becoming a case of you're better off someone pulling a fire alarm every game than obstructing their ability to pull the fire alarm in the event of a real emergency. Hopefully, having said that, Trapdoor's been open since 2015. This is the first time someone pulled a fire alarm. So, the thousands and thousands of people have come through Trapdoor's locations at this point, and no one has ever done this until now.
It's kind of impressive, given people.
It is. It is impressive.
I would have expected someone would have done it beforehand.
Yeah, 100%. Has anyone ever had somebody pull a fire alarm? I kind of really want to know. Who's watching? I've seen buildings have a kind of transparent covering over their alarm switches. Those also have writing on them that day in case of fire lift. Chris Murphy. Thanks, Chris. So the covering, there you go. Grammar counts, Chris. I'd love to know what type of covering. Because I was always under the impression that you could not cover these with anything. Anything that would be in their way is another second before they can pull the alarm, and in a fire, every second counts. So, by the way, Puzzle Talk this week is sponsored by Beanie's Ice Cream. Having some chocolate chip mint. It's delicious. Thank you for spending your time watching us today and watching me eat chocolate chip mint from Beanie's Ice Cream.
It's a great way to spend the day.
I agree. We bought so much ice cream from them during the build. $200 in ice cream.
It was delicious, though.
It was delicious. Our fridge and freezer in Morristown was filled with like every ice cream flavor imaginable. This is the result of using a fire extinguisher in a room. You can see that everything is covered in some kind of white powder. Now, it depends on what kind of fire extinguisher you have. They squirt different things. We love all fire extinguishers, but they are not created equal. So, the cleanup on this is insanity. Now, if your option is A, clean up that, or B, burn down, I'm going with clean that up. However, if there was no fire and someone shot that off just for the hell of it, I'm going with you're never coming back to my building again. So, as we've mentioned, we had the story of the guy who shot it off in the tornado escape, and I've had to shoot off a fire extinguisher before, for a real fire. So, as we've talked about, there was the mini fire we had in Boogeyman, and then, which was when we were building it, not when it was open to public. Don't get any ideas. And then I recently had to clean my grill at home because my wife started a fire, and basically she hadn't cleaned the grease for way too long on the grill, and the whole grill went up in flames. So I was like, can you please get it? She was literally texting me photos of it in flames and a video, and I'm like, instead of spending the time messaging me that our grill is on fire with our 2-year-old in the backyard, can you just put out the fire? So she grabbed the fire extinguisher and put it out. But, and fire is one of those things that, like, you catch it immediately, you can control the situation, and it's not that terrifying. It's when it gets out of control and you've got no ability to do anything about it. But once that stuff is sprayed out, you're looking at hours of cleanup. hours. And it gets everywhere. And it's got a smell, which is worse than the smell of, like, the soot and fire. It's really something you do not want to deal with unless, like, you damn sure have to. Have you ever dealt with it?
Fortunately, no.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hiccups from the ice cream now. But you can see just from this photo, like, all the nooks and crannies of those chairs. And, yeah, that's not one of our rooms, by the way. That's a random Google image. But when I had to spray it in Boogeyman, that was in Cody's room. We had to immediately change the sheets on the bed in the room. We had to scrub down every inch of furniture, and I don't know how many times we carpet cleaner scrubbed and vacuumed the carpet in there.
Was the bed already in place?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, everything was in place. It was horrible. So, you know, this is one of those things, though, that goes back to, like, are your game masters watching? Because apparently there was a conversation of, like, maybe this is part of the game. Should we pull it? I don't know. And Izzy didn't catch it. Yep, I just called you out, Iz. So, you know, if she was paying closer attention, maybe this would have been stopped before it happened.
Yeah.
But, because most times when people are about to do something stupid, they ask. And, you know, because they know it's pretty stupid, but something wired in their head is not saying, maybe I just shouldn't do it. So, that's what happened. That's what happened. We were hoping that, you know, there'd be a little bit more story as to some of our other viewers with situations, but I guess we're the only ones who have had this happen.
Lucky us.
Lucky us. So, Christina, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Next up, the Privilege Escape Room. You read the article about this. What was it about?
It was about an escape room that was kind of trying to make, like, a social experiment where you basically have two different escape rooms that are supposed to be replicas of each other, and one of them you're able to solve the room, but the other you have, like, a huge handicap when it comes to solving the puzzles, and it's meant to kind of show the difference in privilege and stuff, and start, like, a social conversation. Yeah.
Now, you don't know what room you're in when you go in.
I don't think we even knew that what it was, it sounded like, from the article.
Well, it's like in an art institute or something, so,
yeah.
like, you kind of know you're getting into something wonky. But I think, like, room A was intentionally easier. More like hints built into the game itself. And then room B, they were literally sabotaged. There was no winning in room B. And then when everyone comes out, it's like, oh, you were sabotaged. You're not privileged. But the people in room A had a much better time because privilege. This actually sounds... I'm sorry. This sounds like a horrible escape room idea. We already know, just from our own studies, you know, within our own company, that when people aren't winning, they're pissed.
Yeah.
Mass market, you know, is different than competitive players. And mass market is, if they're not winning, they're mad. They're upset. They get butthurt. They give bad reviews. When they're all winning, they're happy. So, this is kind of like, I feel like if I left the room, I'd be really like, wait a minute, what do you mean I could never win?
Yeah, like
I was sabotaged from the beginning. What's the point of this?
Yeah.
Am I supposed? Okay, I feel bad about myself. Congratulations, you've done it. So, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like this was a very weird setup with a very weird payoff.
I think it was a weird setup for an escape room. Like, as a social experiment thing, sure, but as an escape room where there's a certain...
Hey, Andrew, but what's even...
It's so hot outside.
What is even the social experiment? Because...
Or not experiment, but like...
We know the result. Like, I don't think anybody's wondering, like, if I lose and I was sabotaged to lose, you know, am I gonna feel bad about it?
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna feel bad about it. I'd want to interview the person who felt good about that, and you know, it'd just be like, why? What about that was fun to you? Oh, the challenge that you could never overcome.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, like, it's not good at all for the people in room B.
Chris Murphy wants to know, was this escape room free?
I don't know. That was
Neither
the one
do
thing
I.
that I was questioning, too. Because if you paid for it, then that's just a really bad result.
I think it might have been one of those things where, like, it was free to play, but it was part of your ticket
Okay.
at the actual museum or wherever the hell it was held.
So you're not necessarily paying for that experience.
No, but it's part of your ticket price. So
Yeah.
you are, but you aren't.
You're not directly, you're just kind of paying for it.
Right. So if you paid $20, you probably paid about $2 for that or something like that. It was a 45-minute game, so it wasn't a full hour. And it was very set up like an experiment. But it's just like I said, it's like this is a weird A/B testing group. Like, you're not... We already know the result. There's nothing about this that left any, like, idea of, like, how would this turn out in my head?
Well, I feel like it wasn't an experiment for necessarily people running, but more so for the people in it to engage, I guess, with, like, how they feel about it. But it still is kind of... Like, they also talked about how, at the end, like, there should have been, like, a social...
Breakdown,
commentary
yeah,
on it,
yeah.
and there was nothing. There was kind of like
Like a Q&A
you guys
moment.
had, yeah. It was just like, oh, you guys won because you had the advantage. You guys lost because you didn't. Bye. Like, there wasn't a place for that sort of breakdown of it.
I left the game saying, damn, I want to give up my privilege. I feel bad about being privileged. That group didn't win and didn't have fun because I had privilege. Yeah? That was inevitably the outcome.
Yeah.
Fail. Supposedly, this the girl who made it has a pretty long array of, like, a history of doing kind of weird out of the box stuff that is, like, immaculately done and impeccable. So who knows, maybe something crazy will come out of this that we're not thinking of, but I don't know, it just sounds really strange, really obvious, and very clavious.
Yes, very.
Very clever and obvious. Clavius. That is our hashtag word of the day. Clavius.
It's a good one.
I like it. I like it. We are claviously going to get a lot of work done today because we're at work, so obviously, and we're clever. So, next week we have a big corporate event that we have to attend, and it was big enough that we needed to pull literally, like, everyone. So, Puzzle Talk will not be at its normally scheduled time next week. It will not be at 1 p.m. It's going to be the first time we have broken from our 1 p.m. time slot, but we can't do it at 1 o'clock. We all have to be at this event. It's for a lot of money. So, money comes first so that we can keep affording to make free episodes of Puzzle Talk. What time did we say we were going to do it? 4?
I think 4.
Yeah, 4 p.m. next week is going to be Puzzle Talk. So join us next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Trapdoor Escape Streams Puzzle Talk. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share our videos, and if you haven't already, turn on your notifications so you get notified whenever a new Puzzle Talk or a new video goes live. And if you're not a member, head over to TrapdoorEscapeStream.com and get your free trial for your membership now, and go stream some of our escape rooms that you're not close enough to us to participate in. So, catch you next week, 4 o'clock. If you show up at 1, you can't see me. But if you show up at 4, you can see me. Alright, we're done. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.